It's April 2026, and I want to be one of the first to welcome you to the great falling away. What great falling away, you ask? You know, the one from the second book of Thessalonians in the New Testament. The scenario, there is a great abandoning of, allegedly, the Christian faith, people leaving in droves in just open rebellion, kicking back against God, and then that would set the stage for the lawless one to appear. Lots of problems with that idea. But let's tackle the biggest problem. If there is an entity like the well-oiled money-making machine that is American evangelical Christianity, doesn't it have to establish a high holy standard, a high holy visible standard, in order to claim that there is a falling away from that standard? Yes. Yes. Has this entity displayed that? Has this entity established a track record that shows that they have been equitable, that they have been fair and just in judgment? Have they fed the poor? Have they taken care of the widow, of the fatherless, of orphaned children? No, they have not. Here in America, the poor literally are despised. They are despised, and they are seen as the root of a lot of the problems. Plant a seed, reap a harvest, is what they say. Multiple preachers within this system, well known, that people have their books on their shelves, they have their music videos or whatever on their shelves. They have 2, 3 private jets. They have multiple private homes hanging off of stilts up in the hills in various places around the country, looking down on the peasants, okay? In the meantime, the congregants can't pay their rent. They can't keep their lights on. They can't feed themselves or their kids. But yet, with all of the money that's being brought in, there is no benevolence fund, or they're being called lazy for asking. There are assessments, as we have seen online, where people are getting straight up clowned because the pastor expects and or demands a certain amount of money from every person. Even if you have nothing but a jug of ice water in the refrigerator that's blocking out the light. Do we see the problem? Do we see the problem? Lawlessness is sexy nowadays, it seems. It's the thing to practice. It's the thing to be. As long as there is a platitude that you can speak that will give cover to your lawlessness. You know, not of this world, Christ is King. Or as long as you can cover it with something aesthetics, you know, like chest augmentations and big gold crosses while you appear on TV, and mention the Lord every now and then. The machine takes no responsibility for the havoc that it has wreaked, and it lays blame and responsibility at the feet of everyone else. Looking onto YouTube, I've had people mention to me, you see that there are young brothers and young Latino men wearing kufis and other Islamic garb, and they are, quote, choosing deen over dunya. Ya dunya zay l'khiyara. But I digress. They see rebellion when they see African American men and Latino men and some young white men and or women wearing a different type of a religious garb, and they're greeting each other with Shabbat Shalom, and they are living Torah-based lives. This is a problem for the evangelical Christian church. They're messing with the money. They're messing with the money. They're messing with the flow, and they're messing with the control. And yet it's being seen and labeled as, rather, rebellion. Rebellion. The jig is up. The grift has had an amazing run. Decades long, centuries long in its running, this grift. But from a decade standpoint, the most financially solvent and successful from a financial standpoint in the last 5 to 6 decades. But the grift is up. The boat, or the ship as it were, is taking on water, and it's sinking to the bottom of the ocean of sins, the ocean of chaos that this machine has sowed. Crowing against the things like abortion, while by the same token taking in money in mass in churches around America and feeding it to foreign governments that are unaliving human beings. They have no respect for the men or women, for the young or the aged. A lot of our money is being used to fund abortions in other countries that are supposed to be American allies and the height of spirituality in some people's view, in ways that we should somehow emulate. You know what I'm talking about. But yet, there is in their minds a great falling away because no one wants to go with the grift anymore. Listen, at the end of the day, as I said, the ship is taking on water. The sifting is taking place. The choice that you have to make is, do you want to be among the few that will be holding on, floating above, holding on to whatever is left over and waiting for the lifeboat to come along? Or will you pull out your choice violin or your keyboards, and will you sit on the deck and sing a Hillsong song as the screws turn up and the boat goes nose down? The choice is yours. The choice is mine. The choice has always been ours. What did the Most High say when he was having the conversation about Abraham? Right before the messengers went down and destroyed Sodom and Amorah and rained fire on them, he said, I know Abraham. I know him, that he will teach his children and his children's children to walk in the way. Haderech. Haderech, the way. The faith that Jesus of Nazareth left behind. The 12 that he commissioned, and even the many that were commissioned by the 12. If they were taken on a whirlwind tour on a Sunday like this, from sea to shining sea, from the Atlantic to the Pacific, and they would pop in and out, unseen by the congregants, into the doors of these churches, would they realize and or recognize what they were witnessing or what they were in the middle of? No, they would not. In some ways, there is a rebellion going on, but it's against a system that's been a cheat, and that's been a lie, and that has enriched itself off of us, and that now has been used in its most effective way as a political tool and a power. The time is now to join the great falling away. To join the great falling away. Maybe it was never what their flip charts and their cartoon Word Aflame press and chic publication magazines things said it would be. Something to think about.